We're pleased to be joined now by Dan Carmody. He is the president of the Eastern Market Partnership, joining us now on the MegaCast. Dan, thanks for being with us today.
Good morning.
Appreciate having you on. What are some things going on now at the Eastern Market Partnership?
Well, it's a busy season. We're in full swing. Michigan harvest is underway. So last night, for example, I was at the overnight wholesale market, and that's when 20 or 30 of our larger growers show up, and a lot of independent grocers drive their semis down and buy pallets worth of product that's generally in their stores today. So that's that freshness of local product that really distinguishes sometimes what people can get in Michigan versus some other parts of the country that don't have the diversity of crops that Michigan farmers produce. Saturday market, year-round, but it's enjoying a good season. Attendance recovered from some of the lows of the pandemic. We still have we're out a few vendors. COVID cost us some vendors in terms of people taking early retirement, and some vendors haven't been able to find staff to get up all of their sales points. So we're still down a few vendors, but crowds have been good. The neighborhood's alive. There's a lot going on around the Eastern Market District. So it's become we've returned to the normalcy, and to the extent that people come down and enjoy themselves more than just shopping at the market, and enjoy some of the food and beverage opportunities and retail sales opportunities that are located around the market. Our seasonal markets, Tuesday, which is a scale model of the Saturday market that also includes health and fitness activities such as Zumba and yoga. That's in full swing till the end of September. And the Sunday street market, which features merchandise and a little bit of food rather than food with a little bit of merchandise, which is the Saturday market, it also is in full swing till the end of September. And then that market comes back on a holiday format on the Sundays between Thanksgiving and Christmas, as people look for unique, locally made gift items for the holiday season. So, the seasonal markets actually have enjoyed a strong year in 2021, coming off a rather lackluster year during the height of the pandemic last year. And then lastly, with regard to a lot of the special events that happen in Eastern Market, they're coming back very slowly in the post-pandemic era. Last year, so many of our events were wiped out, postponed, or canceled. And this year, we're starting to see them pop up. We will have the Fall Beer Festival by the Michigan Beer Guild. That's on Saturday, the 23rd of October. But we will not be hosting tailgating this year. That was a decision that we struggled with for quite a while. Lions tailgating at Eastern Market is quite a tradition, but it's very labor intensive. There's a lot of security, there's a lot of cleanup, and we simply just did not have the staff on hand to be able to adequately staff that function. So we hope that in 2022 we'll return to the tailgating business in a serious way.
We're joined by Dan Carmody. He's the president of the Eastern Market Partnership with us on the MegaCast. And Dan, let's talk a little bit about the tailgating situation this year, because as you said, it's not going to be available for tailgating before Lions football games in 2021 due to a staffing issue. You do hope to have that back in 2022. Will parking still be available for Lions fans down at the Eastern Market Partnership at all during the season?
I believe that street parking will be available, but it's hard to enforce a no tailgating ban in our surface parking lots. So there will be no parking allowed in our lots, but there will be parking allowed on the street. Detroit police will be enforcing no tailgating. You can park, but you can't party out of your car.
We're joined by Dan Carmody. He is the president of the Eastern Market Partnership with us on the MegaCast, and we've talked a lot so far about sort of a return to normalcy, a gradual return to normalcy of operations there at the Eastern Market Partnership, of course, with some of the remaining factors in place, such as staffing being an issue, people moving on, vendors retiring due to the COVID-19 situation. As we're in a position that we're in right now, with the Delta variant and the uptick in COVID-19 cases locally, what is Eastern Market doing to continue to monitor the situation? Are any changes to be expected in the experience or the operations over there as a result of this uptick in COVID-19 cases?
Yeah, I mean, we're real proud of the fact that we never closed during the pandemic, and that we tried to keep a close hand on the best facts we had available, and you know, when we needed to, we required masks, and when we didn't, we let that requirement lapse. And so we're monitoring the situation closely. Most of the market this time of year is an outdoor function, so there's a little bit more safety there than a lot of indoor shopping opportunities. So again, close monitoring of data, and if we have to, you know, lead back with a mask mandate, we'll do what we have to do.
So at this time, what are requirements, if any, are there for people that are coming in from the outside? If people are wanting to go to tomorrow's Saturday market, should they be prepared to bring a mask? Do they have to be vaccinated?
They do not have to have a mask, and we have no way of enforcing or knowing, you know, the vaccine is. The mask would be the pivotal point for us when we begin to tighten things down, if we do so in the future. We still recommend masks. We do have, you know, Detroit's vaccination rate is, you know, not as high as it should be. So we do have customers who come from the city that we know are not vaccinated. So I choose to wear a mask, even though I have been vaccinated, just as a way to help make sure that I'm not inadvertently spreading anything on to people who haven't been vaccinated. So right now, there's no requirement, just a recommendation that, you know, wear a mask if you feel responsible for trying to limit the spread.
We're joined by Dan Carmody on the MegaCast. He is the president of the Eastern Market Partnership with us today. And for those that maybe are not comfortable with the situation right now because of the Delta variant, because of the uptick in cases, but they want to continue to support local, to support these vendors, to support Eastern Market Partnership, are there avenues that are in place for people to continue to provide that support without necessarily having to go out into the public and go through the regular experience down at Eastern Market?
Yes, we do have a response that we began in the height of COVID lockdown. We have a curbside service that's available at our website. It's too late to order this week, but if you go to www.easternmarket and search for curbside, you'll see a link to an ordering site that's open. I believe it's from Sunday through Wednesday, and basically you pre-order, and then you pick up without getting out of your car as you drive through the market. And while those numbers are down from what they were early in the pandemic, we've been able to. We're happy that there's a lot of loyalty to that program, and we're able to sustain that program with a significant number of regular customers that have continued to support local farmers in that way, rather than, you know, the traditional shopping the stalls live at a market on Saturday or Tuesday.
So you've got a special event that's going on right now. Actually, it begins later on today at 5 p.m., the Sweetest Heart of Mary Pierogi Festival of 2021. You care to give us a little bit of an overview about what people can expect if they're going down to Eastern Market to attend this event?
Well, actually, that's at the campus of the church, which is a few blocks north of Eastern Market. It's actually at Canfield and Russell Street, or Canfield and DeQuinder. So if you set your auto direction capabilities to those intersection streets, it'll get you to one of the most beautiful churches in all of Metro Detroit. If you've never been to the Sweetest Heart of Mary Church, it is truly a spectacular church, and it's home to the Polish community in Metro Detroit. And I try to make Pierogi Festival every year. I'll be there. Great pierogies and other Polish centric foods and entertainment, and it's a great event.
You can find more information on this event at Eastern Market's website, easternmarket.org, and that event, of course, is, as Dan corrected me, at the Sweetest Heart of Mary Church, located at 4440 Russell Street in Detroit. And it's their 40th anniversary, so it's a big milestone as well for the church down there, and so that makes this event even more important, especially as we're coming back out in 2021 and having more of these events back in the community that we weren't able really to have in close proximity in 2020.
Take advice from me. I think the festival runs today, tomorrow, and Sunday.
Yes.
And I showed up at 3 o'clock on a Sunday one year and couldn't find one pierogi left. So you don't want that to happen to you. They're really excellent pierogies, and they're homemade by members of the congregation, and it's just a great event.
Yeah, the event begins today, 5 o'clock to 10 p.m., Saturday, August 14th, 12 noon to 9 p.m., and Sunday, August 12th, 12 p.m. until 5 p.m. And that, of course, is the Sweetest Heart of Mary Pierogi Festival 2021. It'll be at the church itself, at the Sweetest Heart of Mary Church on Russell Street in Detroit. You can find more information on easternmarket.org. And in terms of of the needs of the partnership right now, Dan, of course, throughout the pandemic, organizations such as yours and others throughout the community, they really needed more help from the community than ever before in the form of donations. Is that still the case at Eastern Market? Are donations still really critical, or is Eastern Market at a point right now where they are managing and sort of getting back to a sense of normalcy?
We're always we in addition to operating the market, we spend a lot of time and resources addressing food access issues, which actually accelerated during the pandemic. So we were fortunate last year to receive a USDA contract and deliver 2,000 food boxes a week to people in need between May and September. And quite frankly, that income from doing that program from the USDA replaced the loss of revenue from not having the events or from having fewer vendors. This year, and we also suppressed a lot of our one-time maintenance costs for a while. We just put work off. This year, we don't have the advantage of the USDA program. We've tried to continue a smaller box delivery program with generous support from individuals and philanthropy, but we haven't been able to restrain our costs. So we're actually in a little worse situation than we were last year because our revenues are still down. With events are coming back, but not to the level they were. It's going to take a couple of years to get that back to where it was. And again, our revenue income from rentals to vendors is still below what it is, even if customer traffic is approaching normalcy. So, we're still in a little bit of a need. The work we do around food access is just as important, and so we've been trying to not cut programs there when people are in need. And then we also do a lot of work in food entrepreneurship. And so we're building out a support system for emerging food businesses. And there are the high construction costs. We have a capital project. We know firsthand that construction costs have increased significantly. So those are some of the financial stress points. Revenues are still down. So yeah, we do have ability to contribute to the organization on our website at www.easternmarket.org. We also have our gala coming up. So we'll be returning to a live gala. That's scheduled for Friday, October 8th, and it's upwards of 400 people in one of our big sheds. And this year, we're pleased to announce that Chef Anthony Lombardo from She-Wolf is the master chef, and it's a 10-course farm-to-table dinner, second to none. So the quality of that offering for nonprofit fundraisers, we take full advantage of our role as one of the centers of Michigan food and agriculture to roll out a pretty tasty offering.
We're joined by Dan Carmody on the MegaCast. He is the president of the Eastern Market Partnership with us today. And Dan, a few more minutes with you before we'll say goodbye today. In terms of market hours and activities, are they starting to return back to some sort of normalcy? Are there still some odd hours and modified hours due to staffing and so on?
Our Saturday market is 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. And effectively, one effect of the pandemic is that vendors tend to sell out sooner. There's more buying and less browsing is one outcome of the pandemic. And so we're open to 4. You should get there before 3 o'clock. Sundays are 10 to 4, and Tuesdays are 9 to 3. And those are all good hours, and we welcome you to enjoy the ambience of Eastern Market and not only under the sheds, but get out and explore the district. And most of our businesses are back open with normal business hours. And they're open. By the way, they're open 6 or 7 days a week, so you don't have to wait for market day to come down to enjoy the district. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. We want to hear it all. But Dan, I've actually never been able to make it down to the Eastern Market. I've always wanted to go. So for someone like me that hasn't yet had the opportunity to go down there, what are some must-haves or must-tries?
Well, first of all, you want to get the heart of the market and to really enjoy the ambience of the market. Come on preferably a sunny summer day and come between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. And you're going to find one of the most compelling urban markets in the United States. In normal times, 30 to 35,000 people. We're probably more in the 25 to 30,000 range. It is all of Metro Detroit. We come together across the lines that sometimes separate us, and people leave feeling better for not only great agricultural products and healthcare products and a few specialty merchandise items, but also because they enjoy the diversity of people that the region features. And so please come and wear your walking shoes, and shop the market, buy a lot of merchandise, make our vendors happy, but then also get out and explore the district. And you're going to find I'll give you 3 or 4 sort of interesting things that you might want to explore. Number one is we were recognized by Smithsonian Magazine in 2019 as having one of the 6 best mural festivals in the world. We ran an event called Murals in the Market for 5 years. We've taken the last couple of years off because of the pandemic. But you'll see a collection of visual art around Eastern Market, second to none anywhere. And a lot of them involve, important social themes. Others are just great pieces of art. Secondly, come hungry. There's a lot of different food and beverage options. Last year, we completed a streetscape project on Riopelle Street. And so on market days now, there's massive outdoor drinking and dining opportunities on Riopelle Street featuring Eastern Market Brewing Company and Detroit City Distillery. But some of our old standbys like Birds and Thomas McGee's and Vivio's are also been outside prior to the pandemic and continuing on. And then there's great specialty merchandise available around the Market District, from Detroit Hustles Harder to Vintage Eastern Market, which is a consortium of antique stalls located a couple blocks away, to Savvy Chic, one of the finest home decorating boutiques in the metro area. So you'll find a great pet shop, 3 dogs, 1 cat. You'll find a private marketplace called Gratiot Central that features 150 feet of meat on 2 aisles, locally known as 300 feet of meat. So any protein product you're interested in, you can find, across the freeway that bisects Eastern Market from north to south at Gratiot Central Market. Those are just a few of the highlights.
We're joined by Dan Carmody. He's the president of the Eastern Market Partnership with us today on the podcast. Dan, a few more minutes with you before we say goodbye. And as we get into the late summer and into the fall, what are some other things? You, of course, mentioned Pierogi Fest, which will be going on over the weekend. And then coming up, you have your annual gala that's coming back this year. What are some other things that are on the docket coming up down at Eastern Market?
Fall Beer Festival by the Michigan Beer Guild, which is usually a 2-day fair. This year, just 1 day on Saturday, the 23rd or 4th of October. We will, the feature this year is, as in most years, is that this is the time of year where Michigan agriculture is at its peak bounty. And it was this year, the growing season was not an easy one, the rains of this week. So we have some growers who are normally back mid-July are just now getting back to the market. But the product is starting to roll in, and as usual, it is both spectacular to look at and even better to eat. And so I know for myself, as an empty nester, I have to practice a lot of restraint to make sure I'm not overbuying every week and wasting food that otherwise could go into someone else's palate. So for us, it's the star attraction this time of year is the beauty of both the aesthetics of Michigan harvest and its great taste. So I don't want to dilute the product offering. Come on a Saturday, come early, and see the bounty of Michigan agriculture.
Well, Dan, we appreciate having you on, and thank you for taking the time today.
My pleasure, anytime. Thanks, guys.